Termites. Night 8. Look at us cruising right along. I have a hat on because my hair is crazy. I'm not freezing. Inside, I'm not freezing. I just didn't feel like combing my hair. And we're at that level, aren't we? I am. What am I drinking? A little Los Alamos. It's a malbec, one of Lou's favorites. From where? Argentina. I've never been to Argentina, but I would like to go to Argentina. Which paper doll do we have for night 8? I'm going to run out of these. I got to go see if there's a whole nother one on Amazon. This one, this is the quote that goes with it. Your sister's latest wedding invitation has just arrived. A covert campaign to upstage the bride will likely find you catching the bouquet. Holy shit. Look, can you guys see this? I don't even know how to describe this white suit. White floral sequined. And then the shoes are white heeled cowboy boots with rhinestones. And then he has some sort of wand. I don't know what that's about, but I like all of it. Let's put him right here. Not too close to the fire. We don't want to start a Liberace fire. Oh, shit. I'll pick that up later. Okay, let's get back into it. He's making money in New York. Finally. Oh, he was out in Vegas. I forgot. Then he went to Vegas. He knew that he could play Vegas with a bunch of, cowboy types that were yeehaw him. And he knew he could do the Persian Room in New York. He's doing very well. Then Maxine Lewis summoned him to her office. He approached with forbearing, fearing his deception about the Montreal salary had been uncovered, or that the bosses did like his act despite the audience response. Well, that's right. He lied about the salary. He said he was making more than he was. But how would they find that out? Only if they called. There's only one thing wrong with your act, she announced. What's that, Maxine? He asked wearily. We're not paying you enough. Oh, my God, we're going to tear up your contract. And from now on, you're getting $1,500 a week. Oh, when Liberace marveled at his good fortune for the first time he had received a 4-figure salary, she told him, you'll get more. Sophie Tucker appeared here before you, and we paid her $6,000. Holy shit show. An oft-told Liberace tale concerns the first rehearsal in the Ramona room. The showroom's facilities were primitive, but when it finally came time for rehearsal, he could find no one to assist him. Finally, he spotted a tall, skinny man by the light switchboard. Oh, hi there, Liberace began. Now here's my sheet of light cues. Basically, I want blues, pinks, and magentas when I'm doing the soft number. Then, when I bring up the beat, bring up the color, lots more of reds and whites. If I play Claire de Lune, be sure to give me a blue light. You understand? The man nodded as Maxine Lewis approached her and remarked, oh, I didn't realize you knew Howard Hughes. Wow. He just delivered all those instructions to Howard Hughes. And I like that he just nodded. Wow. After serving 4 years with the Seabees, what the hell is that? Oh, George Liberace left the Navy in 1945. Lee returned to Milwaukee for a joyous reunion with Mom, George, Angelina, and Rudy, a 15-year-old handsome enough to resemble his namesake, Valentino. What are you going to do now? Lee asked his older brother. I don't know. Back to the road, I guess. Do you really want to? No, I'm really not looking forward to living on bologna and fig Newtons and avoiding restaurants with tablecloths because they're too expensive. Why don't you come with me, George? Be my manager. What do you need me to do for you? You got MCA. Yeah, but they just do the bookings. I need somebody to travel with me, arrange the publicity, check the showrooms, and make sure the mics are working. I can't do it all by myself. That's a lot to do, because it's all day. That's why, it's nice. I don't have it, but it would be nice, like when I don't know, I'd still want to do it, but to have somebody go do all that, and then you could just do your act and not have to worry about the rest of it. But it's also what gives me a lot of material. So, and then I feel like I know what's going on. I think it'd be weird to just show up, but I know people that do. Mom Liberace was thrilled by the idea of her 2 boys traveling and working together. She worried about Walter's constant travels and the temptations he faced. George would be a steadying influence on him. George, who realized he lacked the talent of his brother, agreed to submerge his own ambitions as a musician and assume the role of manager. George recognized that Walter had grown as a performer during the war years, and he agreed with Walter's assessment that with astute management and careful planning, the Liberace career could enjoy an unlimited future. The arrangement worked well. George possessed no hint of brilliance, nor was he blessed with imagination, but his brother provided enough of both. What George contributed was the level-headedness and the careful attention to detail. The music sheets and props always arrived on time. The orchestra was properly rehearsed. Lee was always notified of celebrities in the audience. George's knowledge of the music business was an asset that few managers could provide. With an age difference of 8 years, the brothers rarely had quarreled as youngsters. George played the fatherly role neglected by Sam Liberace. The relationship continued into show business. George tried to make Lee save his energies between performances and sought to protect him from the adoring young men who tried to reach him backstage. The brothers' only arguments concerned Lee's extravagances, such as the Bluthner piano. In 1946, Liberace was scheduled to perform in Long Beach, his first important concert on the West Coast. He decided to use the Bluthner piano, with which Clarence Goodwin had been keeping for him. Not only that, he told George he wanted to make the Bluthner on every engagement. Oh my God. He was tired of the pianos he'd been forced to play across the country. More often than not, they had wretched tone and were poorly tuned. Probably, but are you going to be dragging a piano around? That's expensive. He wanted a piano that was both grand and reliable, one that would benefit the aura of elegance he was striving to create. The piano was more important than ever in the act, since he no longer played the accompaniment of Horowitz, Rubinstein, etc. The Musicians' Union had banned the gimmick on the grounds that it deprived musicians of work. Oh, wow. That's kind of crazy. I wouldn't think they would even know that he was doing it, but I guess they found out. It's not like now where somebody could send him a video of it. For God's sakes, be sensible. How the hell are you going to haul a 600-pound piano from city to city? It had cost a fortune. I'm with George. Hold on, let me pull my leg up. It feels more comfortable when I'm cozier like this. I got to have it, Liberace said. When Liberace played the Bluthner in Long Beach, he believed that he had never exhibited such effortless style and such flawless playing. He wanted the performance to be his best since MCA had brought such celebrities as Barbara Stanwyck. Oh, what was that show? Gunsmoke, I think. She was on that. Charles Coburn, Dennis Morgan, and Hedda Hopper. Most important, Mom was there. He had paid for her first trip to California, and he adored introducing her to the Hollywood figures who congratulated him after the performance. Besides the Howard Hughes story, Liberace's other favorite about Las Vegas concerned a figure the town had tried to forget. The Last Frontier had found Liberace to be an excellent attraction, especially for the wives of high rollers, and he signed a 10-year contract. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I would never stay in the same place for 10 years. Holy shit. I mean, it's way easier, the toll, no traveling, but fuck, 10 years? In July 1947, he returned for another of his annual engagements. Opening night brought cheers from the audience, and afterward, Liberace basked in compliments as he mingled in the crowd. With the crowd in the casino. All performers, especially the showgirls, were required to appear at the casino after the floor show. I mean, I would love that. Nobody makes you do that anymore. They used to tell you if you headline the main showroom, like I work at the Mirage in the big theater, they used to make the entertainer go to the casino. Well, I'm going anyway. So I would already fit right into that. Like, oh, great. Oh, you're going to make me go play craps? Oh, my God. But I bet if you didn't gamble, you were like, shit, what do I got to do? Or drink or smoke, all of which I did. Hey, kid. So it was a duty that Liberace enjoyed since he liked to wager modest amounts on the craps table. Oh, he was a craps player. Good for him. I love craps. Hey, kid, I want to talk to you. Liberace heard the gruff voice that felt like a hand grip on his arm. If there's anything he disliked from admirers, it was being handled. He turned and saw a man in an expensive Glen plaid suit with a dangerously handsome face that resembled George Raff's. Hey, don't grab me, Liberace said, pulling his arm away and hurrying to another part of the casino. The man in the suit pursued him and again clamped a hand on his arm. This time, Liberace could feel the strength of the grip. I want to talk to you, the man insisted. I've got to get ready for a second show, Liberace replied, heading for the exit. He stopped and asked the security guard, who is that creep over there, the one who looks like a gangster? He is a gangster, the guard answered. That's Bugsy Siegel. Liberace's heart sank. Bugsy Siegel? He was the mobster from Hell's Kitchen with a reputation for cold-blooded killings and conquest of famous beauties of New York and Hollywood. Now he was putting Las Vegas into the big time with his Flamingo casino, which he vowed would make Monte Carlo look like peanuts. Flamingo, still there. Not really sure if it's the original, but there's a Flamingo on this trip. He had poured $6 million of the mob's money into the Pink Palace. Maybe it's the exact same one, I guess. And it opened it in 1946 with a showroom bill that included Jimmy Durante and Xavier Cugat's orchestra. Oh my God, we had a dog named Cugat. Why? An English setter that was free because my aunt worked at Ralston Purina, and those dogs that you see photographed on the front of Ralston Purina, back in the day, they would give those dogs away. And we got a free English and Irish setter and created our own Northern Ireland war on our own patio with an English and an Irish setter. And I will say the English setter usually won the fights and was a little bit more aggressive, seriously. The Irish setter, although gorgeous, well, they were both pretty, very scared of thunderstorms and jumped through a whole bay window to get inside from lightning. Anyway, that's really got distracted there, but nobody ever knows that. And the reason he was named Cugat is my dad had an Xavier Cugat album laying around, and I didn't know how to pronounce it. I was young, and I was like, because it's C-U-G-A-T, and my dad's like, that's Xavier Cugat. And then he was like, why don't we name the dog Cugat? And I'm like, sweet. No, wow, Xavier Cugat Orchestra. Oh my God, and I insulted him, Liberace exclaimed. After the second show, he received a message that Mr. Siegel wanted to see him in the lobby. To his release, Liberace found that the mobster wasn't angry. A classy act like you should be playing the Flamingo, not this cheesy dump, Siegel insisted. How much are they paying you here? You might as well tell me the truth, because I'll find out. $2,000, Mr. Siegel, Liberace admitted. You can call me Ben. $2,000 is peanuts. I'll double that. But I'm very happy at the Frontier. They've been very kind to me. Also, you signed a 10-year contract. What happens then? I don't know. Nobody in my generation, well, Carrot Top is out in Vegas full-time. Sometimes George Wallace. But we don't really stay that long. I wouldn't even... it's shocking. I would never even... I can't agree to anything for 10 years. Anything. Except that I will be playing video poker and doing scratch-offs. Liberace fretted over the proposal today. He didn't want to leave his friends at the Frontier, but he didn't want to antagonize Bugsy Siegel. He told Maxine Lewis about his dilemma, and she counseled him. Only you can decide, Lee. Oh, fuck. And I'm a Libra. That's a terrible decision. First, you got to find out if you can get out of the contract. And then I'd make George decide. The decision proved unnecessary. Bugsy Siegel had incurred the mob's disfavor by overspending on the Flamingo. Oh, yeah, I remember. That's in the movie. If you watch Bugsy, he spent way too much. Eventually, they knocked him off, partially because of that, I think. And he attracted too much attention to himself. On June 20th, 1947, Bugsy was sitting with his friend Alan Smiley on the living room couch in the Beverly Hills home of his girlfriend, Virginia Hill. An unknown marksman fired through the window, landing 3 bullets in Bugsy's skull. That's a good shot from outside in a car. And you get him in the head 3 times. Wow. In August 1947, Liberace was booked for 7 months in the Empire Room. How'd you do that? Of the Palmer House in Chicago. He was delighted with the assignment, the longest of his career thus far. For once, did I read 10 years right? I gotta... a 10-year contract. Maybe they didn't mean all year. Maybe they just meant X amount of shows. Maybe, obviously, he could leave. Whew, gave me anxiety. He was delighted that this is the longest of his career. For once, he could settle down in one place. Oh, okay, I see. So when he worked out there, it was 10 years, but you can only work here. That's fine. And Milwaukee was close enough so he could go home to visit Mom. Oh, that's great. The Palmer House contract included a suite in the hotel. Liberace gazed around the living room of the suite and shook his head. Those drapes have to go, he decreed. And those pictures, ugh. He shopped in Marshall Fields for brightly colored drapes to replace the maroon fake velvet of the suite. He removed the boring prints and had huge paintings he brought in from an art gallery. He installed a coffee maker and set up a bar. In one of the bathrooms, he created a makeshift kitchen where he could cook his favorite spaghetti at the end of an evening's performance. In the bedroom, he installed a rack for his clothes and costumes. George decided that his brother should have a press agent for the Chicago entertainment engagement to supplement the efforts of the hotel publicist, even though it might add $50 weekly to expenditures. Lee agreed wholeheartedly. A meeting was arranged at MCA office with the press agent and the agency had recommended. Lee liked Sam Honenberg immediately. He was a friendly, sincere little guy, not like some of the cynical press agents Lee had met on the road. Sam had worked for 11 years at Billboard as nightclub and band reporter for opening his own publicity office. He admired show people and, for the most part, tolerated their idiosyncrasies. Walking back to the Palmer house with Sam, Lee outlined some of the matters he was concerned about. My biggest problem is my name, he said. Your name? Yes, people who don't know me call me Liberace. That's why I don't print it on stationery. My ads and the cards I send to club owners and people all over the country pronounce Liberace. Well, I could do that in my press releases, and I'll stress the pronunciation whenever I talk to people. Good. George may have told you about my piano. It's the biggest in the world, and I ship it wherever I play. Costs $1,000 each time. You can say that's insured for $150,000, which isn't exactly true, but it sounds good. See, he knew. Just make it up. Who cares? Is there anything else that might get us some feature stories in the paper? My hobbies. I have a collection of 183 miniature pianos that might make a photo spread. How bizarre. One of them is a replica of my Bluthner piano with 50 little diamonds set in platinum. I had it made in Long Beach after I bought the piano. And I've got a glass pianos and ivory pianos and ones that actually play 3 octaves. What other hobbies? I paint ties and blouses. What? For instance, I did one for Hildegard. It has all of her trademarks, the waving arm, the upswept hair, the chiffon handkerchief. I'm doing one now for Dorothy Shea in a hillbilly theme. I would like that. And I paint personal ties for men. Another thing, I love to cook. I own a half interest in a restaurant in Milwaukee where I cook special dishes. Honenberg applied his press agent zeal to the Liberace account. The Daily News ran a feature with Liberace as Cook of the Week. The Tribune did a spread on his miniature piano collection. I've got to Google that. This Week in Chicago offered a color photograph of Liberace on the cover, and he was pictured in a Pepsi-Cola ad. Handwritten notes from George Liberace to Stan Honenberg reveal the publicity consciousness of the two brothers. Lee told me to remind you that if you can get some picture plants in the national magazines like Lifetime, Esquire, etc. And here's a bit of news. Lee had a request for a white Christmas the other night, and it went over so tremendous that he's getting requests to play it every night. The only pianist to play White Christmas in August heat. The audiences claim it cools them off. At least it's cool news, Sam. Here's another one they wrote. A suggestion for a bit of news. Someone stole Lee's pictures out of the lobby board yesterday. Lee says he's very flattered, and if someone wishes his pictures, he'll be glad to provide them, saving all the work of unscrewing them from the lobby frame. By the way, have you an idea when the painting spread will be in the Daily News? Next one. Lee has already told us about the thumbs down on the radio interviews as the union says no. Seems all we have to work with are pictures in the press. I wonder if you could do something about Lee's special dishes in the 4 Men column in the Tribune. So now he's got the press guys out there, his brother and this guy, working their little asses off, and he's learned a few tricks, you know. If it's insured for 50, say 150. Yeah. It's getting good. I like his life so far. I like that he said no to that original thing, because I don't think I would have had the guts. Probably not. That's it, termites. Are you cozy? Are you warm? Well, you're worthy termites. You're fun termites. You're good time Charlie termites. Pull your sheet up. Close your eyes. Are you ready? Night, night.